Since 9/11, there has been a great fear of Islam.
We need Muslims, I always say, to speak up in this country.
Much of our Islamic community is perceived to be insular.
Most Americans have never met a Muslim or are not aware of having met a Muslim.
Most people don't have enough education in terms of what the entirety of Islam represents.
It's very easy to hate someone or to put stereotypes on people that you've never interacted with.
But do you think if Muslims were more integrated in society, in America, in the United States of America, then there would have been less anti-Muslim scenario?
I think it's even more important that our clergy speak up. They are, after all, the moral force in our community.
You see, the Islam that is celebrated is one which opens its doors.
Having this type of dialogue in terms of a community outreach or
Something that Muslims have to do is go out just like you do and inviting non-Muslims to the iftar. And you do a lot of speaking to mixed groups.
We have to change the language from us versus them to a language of we.
I believe that if we can stand together against the forces of hatred and be unified in this country, then we can do wonderful things.
Bringing us together to enhance the beauty of humankind.
I think religion can be such a powerful force for unity.
Of course.
We've made it into this powerful force for disunity.
Keep trying to understand each other and care for each other and keep building a world community, because I believe that's what God wants for us all.
And I'm in their mosques and they're in my temple, and it's been a phenomenal experience. I've had a very warm and welcoming experience from all the brothers and sisters in the community.
That every human being is either your brother in faith or brother in humanity.
In Arabic, the word is lita'arafu, so that you will learn to understand one another.
And this is the truth of what it should be. You see, this is why I am so pleased to come here today, to support the work of Alhikmat.
The kind of intolerance and the violence that we see across the globe is rooted in ignorance, which we can overcome by teaching.
Yes.
Also rooted in fear, which we can overcome by experiencing, where we can actually live in each other's presence. It's rooted in this myopic kind of my way only, rather than this understanding that maybe all of us have more in common, and at the core of who we are is this truly global family that we belong to.
I'd like to say what a joy and pleasure it is to have Shaykh Shafayat as my friend, as my teacher, as my co-worker in the vineyard of Allah, God, where we work together to make this world a better place, to do God's work, to do the work which we are commanded to do as human beings.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Who is Who in America on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a pleasure to have with us in Alhikmat studio attorney James Curry. Very interesting person, very interesting background, very prominent man in the state of Florida. So welcome to the show, attorney.
Thank you very much. It's glad to be here.
It's really nice to have you with us on this show in Alhikmat studio. We got viewers worldwide, east, west, north, and south.
Wow.
And I'm sure our viewers worldwide, Muslims and non-Muslims, will be very happy to hear what you have to say, your experience. On this show, Who is Who in America, it's people like you who share your experience, your knowledge with our viewers worldwide, locally, nationally, and internationally. So, as a person who worked with the state of Florida, and especially in a very interesting area, what is called the Juvenile Justice Department, tell us a little bit, what motivated you to get involved with the state of Florida, and specifically in the Department of Juvenile Justice? Because I understand that you have been with this department or territory area for more than 22 years.
That's correct. You know, it's an interesting story. I started out my career in New York right out of college. I worked for the Legal Aid Society in Queens County Criminal Defense Division. That, at that time in 1982, was the largest law firm in the country. We had about 500 lawyers throughout the whole 5 boroughs.
In New York?
In New York. And in Queens County, when I started, we had about 60 attorneys, and I was a young paralegal working in criminal defense, assisting these 60 attorneys, doing a lot of interviews with individuals who had problems with the system.
So you're originally from New York?
That's correct.
Good.
Queens County. Born in Harlem, raised in Queens County.
Okay, beautiful.
And one of the things that I've discovered was that it was like a revolving door. You know, the people who were getting into trouble, we were helping them many times as attorneys or as the aides of the attorney get out of jail. And we had a unit that tried to, after we got them out of jail, resolve their problem. But I didn't really see that as the solution. So I went to law school full-time, St. John's in New York, and I worked full-time. And when I graduated, my father, who was originally born and raised in South Miami, came back home, and I came to visit him. And during the course of that visit, I met a gentleman who was one of the first black probation officers in Miami-Dade. And he started taking me around and showing me the Department of Juvenile Justice. And what I saw was how they were putting people's lives back together. That was their focus. And so I actually started as a probation officer. I didn't practice law right away. So I did 3 years as a probation officer, and then I said, well, it kind of rekindled my love of the law, because that experience, 10 years I worked for the Legal Aid Society. That experience kind of turned me off from the law a little bit.
So the Legal Aid Society, they were really helping people get out of prison?
Well, I wouldn't phrase it that way. But the way I would say it is, if you're a defense attorney, your obligation is to follow the instructions of your client. And if your client is in jail, the first thing he's going to want to do is get out of jail, despite how he got there and the circumstances that led him to that.
Which is very interesting. And you know, this has always been a major question mark that I have always had with lawyers.
A lot of people.
Do you support crime? Is it just about the client or the crime? You know, this is a very delicate situation.
Criminal law is only one aspect of what lawyers do. And lawyers, remember, when you're a lawyer, you take an oath to whatever state bar you're admitted to.
Yes.
And that oath is you have to defend your client. As long as you can't advise them on doing something illegal, but you have to defend your client after the fact. And that means that if your client wants something specific that's not illegal, you have to go along with it. Or you have to get out of the case.
Yes. Yeah.
So the question becomes, in your mind, are you helping them commit more crimes? Well, if a person comes to you and they have some sort of problem like mental health, substance abuse, your obligation to some degree, or at least it was at that time, it's changed somewhat because the laws always change, is to do that which your clients want you to do. After the fact, you can try to help them. The Department of Juvenile Justice, as you saw the mission statement is a little different.
So, but what you were saying is that in New York, that legal aid department were really assisting in helping them get out of prison, which is practically what was happening, right?
Well, that's what lawyers do.
Excellent.
Criminal lawyers.
And now when you came down to Florida and you noticed the juvenile justice system, you saw a different thing happening. It's not just about getting them out or getting them in, but getting them better to be a better people.
Rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation.
Right.
That's an interesting point.
Rehabilitation, and if we're really doing what we're supposed to do, intervention. Because the department has two functions. Once they're arrested, to help them rehabilitate, but before they get in trouble, to intervene earlier so that they never come into the system in the first place.
Yes.
So if we're doing what we're supposed to do, then they're not supposed to be coming into the system in the first place. And that's the intervention part, like the civil citation and
Definitely.
diversion programs. And the way these programs are structured is you look at kids that are at risk, we call at risk. They're not going to school, they have substance abuse problems, and they have mental health problems, which leads them to have a partiality to parental supervision. And hence we call that at-risk, engaging in at-risk behavior. Now the gateway, what we refer to as the gateway crime, typically is school attendance. And it's not a crime, it's a gateway offense. Because typically, things can go on in the home that the system never sees. Kids can run away unless it's reported, the system never knows about that. But behavior in the school is when society sees these things.
Yes. And those are symptoms that something is going on.
Right, but that's where society often sees those symptoms. The other symptoms, like running away, not listening to your parents, those things go on in the home. You may not see them until they burgeon out somewhere.
Yes, but do you, in your system of rehabilitation within this juvenile justice services, if I want to put it like that, do you have something that can assist parents?
We do.
Who are normally part of this breakdown in family?
There are several things that we have. We have what we call SINSFINs, Children in Need of Services, Families in Need of Services. And in every, and this is ironic, in every county in Florida, we have one of our contracted providers that can receive a referral from a parent via telephone call, free licensed and social workers that you call, they do an intake, and they will work with you, whether it's school, runaway ungovernable behavior, and you can your kid can stay there for 30 days in the shelter as a cooling off period.
Interesting, interesting. Because, I mean, you would agree with me, there are a lot of parents who are just biological parents. When I say biological,
No, I
they
get your point.
produce the children, but they really have no experience. I don't expect them to have an experience if they are just beginning new parents, but no knowledge, no care in how to upbring children from a good manners, a good educational background and upbringing. And that could be a major reason for a lot of these juvenile crimes.
Children raising children.
Yes?
Yeah, if you don't know, you don't know. Clearly, and we do offer, we do referrals for parenting classes. We do family and individual counseling. And these things are provided through our contracted services for free. And a lot of people don't know about them.
Okay.
And the and our sister agency, the Department of Children and Families, to some degree does similar, but they have the responsibility for administering mental health services throughout the state, and they have catchment areas everywhere. But I'm here more specifically because of the next role that I want to do related to expanding my knowledge of programs. You know, most lawyers, their focus is on trials, criminal trials. Now, and when I say trials, I mean jury trials. In criminal instances, there are jury trials. Each defendant has the right to a trial by a jury of its peers. Civil cases as well. But what people sometimes don't know is that in juvenile court, there are no jury trials. There are trials where the judge is the trier of facts, meaning he's the jury, and he's the arbiter of the law.
Okay.
And that's what I've been focusing on. Now.
But as a state attorney, am I correct to say you're a state attorney?
Well, I'm in.
Can you work with the state
of
office?
Well, it gets confusing when you say state attorney because state attorneys also the term state attorney means a prosecutor out of the local prosecutor's office.
Okay.
I work for the state, but I work for the Department of Juvenile Justice as a senior attorney. So that's the distinction.
Oh,
Mike Sack's office is the state attorney's office.
Okay, excellent.
Okay,
Yes,
so there's a distinction, and it makes a big difference because I don't want to mislead you into thinking that
we channel into that territory.
That's a different office, and they have a different function.
Okay, so in your position in this this council office, general council office here, what is really your duties and responsibilities?
I help administer the Department of Probation, Department of Juvenile Justice programs and services. I defend the agency when they have issues in court. We help issue their contracts. If somebody, because we handle, I mean, I think it's like a $78 million budget. It's a very large budget.
Of course, of
okay.
course.
And so there are about 20 of us or so statewide that assist the secretary with administering her duties, her probation officers if they have issues, the contracted program if we have to close down a contracted program, and then we administer the SINS FINS programs, which we help with these licensed clinical social worker programs that these shelters in each location throughout Florida. Because somebody who knows the law and knows our responsibility has to be able to, they have to talk with the various programs to explain to them what the parameters are of our administrative agency.
Excellent. So I know this is a very wide field, very interesting field, and especially in today's time with so many juvenile crimes and so many young people in prison, etc. We can speak for hours on the back and forth of this. But in another area, I know that you are running for circuit judge,
correct,
if I want to call it that. But before we get into your running and being a candidate for circuit court judge, which is very interesting, I would like to know a lot more about that. I think our audience worldwide would love to know, because America is like the home of everybody. Somebody somewhere in the world got a family, a relative.
That's true.
A connection to the United States of America. And that's why this program being broadcasted worldwide helps a lot of people. A man can be sitting in the Caribbean, in the Far East, in the Far West, North or South, and may learn something from you. They can make a telephone call immediately to their relatives in the United States of America and say, hey, you know what? Such and such is the situation. You can contact attorney James Curry and get some advice on this matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Alhikmat TV or whatever, because we're all about servicing mankind, the people in the world, humankind. I need to ask you a question before we get into this circuit judge situation and how you people go about voting, when they should vote, why they should vote, what are you going to be doing when you get into that position. But before getting into that topic, if someone gets locked up, a young person, a juvenile, in prison, what should they do? The parent just hears my son is in jail. What are some of the steps a person can take or not? Well, and I'm asking you these things for viewers, how they may think.
Let's be specific. If we're talking about the state of Florida,
yes,
and a juvenile offender commits a crime, depending on, first of all, not everybody who commits a crime is what we call detainable or able to be locked up.
Okay.
First-time offenders, if it's not too severe, are usually not held for the full 21 days that the court can hold them. Secondly, when you commit a crime as a juvenile or adult in the state of Florida, you are entitled to representation. Generally, you have an attorney with the public defender's office or the criminal and regional conflict office. If there's a conflict out, if more than one person is involved in that incident, one gets the public defender, one gets the conflict attorneys. So that immediately when you come, unlike some other systems in the world, in the United States, when you are threatened with the loss of your liberty, you are entitled to and are given an attorney. And here in Broward County,
which is what the world loves about the justice system in America.
Yeah, if you're going to be locked up, you're entitled. You get somebody stands there with you who's competent and admitted to the Florida bar, and they defend you until such a time as they. Now, if you don't have money, they do a financial form on you, and your son continues to get the public defender. But if you're some rich person or if you're a person of means, they tell you have to hire your own attorney.
Yes. Yes.
So the first issue is if you commit if you're charged with, and I shouldn't say commit a crime, I should know better. If you're charged with the commission of a crime, you have the right to be represented by counsel, and you should be. And you should speak
Which is
to
important
a lawyer.
for people to understand.
Right.
Yeah.
You should speak to a lawyer before you say anything. Your child, if your child is accused of a crime, they should wait to speak to their lawyer before they say anything to anybody.
And that's number one step.
I think so.
And the lawyer will advise them on what they should do and what the case is and what it entails and what are the different areas that they need to understand better.
And that's whether it's an adult or juvenile. Pretty much the same.
Yes, 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 yes.
So that would be the first thing I would say. You know, in the United States, we're fortunate. No one just gets locked up without having the right to have a lawyer.
And that is so fair, and I love that, because a lot of countries, they may probably say that's in place, but it's not really.
No, it's in place here.
Active.
It's in place here because what happens is, if you're not given the right to counsel, then all of whatever statements they get and all of the things that they do get thrown out of court sometimes.
Yes, yes. And that is what really makes America great.
I think
really, that's one of the things. The justice system in America is so very phenomenal and unique when it comes to, you know, justice system for everyone, equal rights. And, you know, I continue to pray that God bless this country and its founders and leaders, because this is a very important part in humankind. This has been major corruption in other parts of the world because of not having a proper
but here's the
justice
thing.
system.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
It has a price. And the price is participation. The price is paying attention. The price is exercising your citizenship rights. The price is voting. Okay? If you want to have and continue to have fair and impartial judges, you got to pay attention to who's being elected to those positions. If you want to be considered in a way that is fair, you got to participate in the system. I'm not saying that if a judge is someone that you didn't vote for, that they won't be fair. But I think that it's incumbent upon us, A, if you're going to come into the United States and you're going to live here, be part of the system. Become a citizen.
Yes.
And if you become a citizen, register to vote. And once you register to vote, vote. Judges here in Florida are the subject of the elected choice. And that's how you assure that the founding fathers' dream of a fair and impartial system remains, by participating in the system. And we can talk.
That's a good point. Actually, not just a good point. That is a very important point, because I like that. If you don't become a citizen, you cannot vote. And if you become a citizen and you do not register to vote, you still cannot vote. So it is important to be part of the system, the society, be integrated in such a way that you are a major part of the community and society. The judges, the lawyers, the politicians know who you are. And that is what, in all reality, makes up the community and society.
Right. Here's what I will say in practical terms. Local school boards and judges are nonpartisan. Now, their election, we have an election, I have an election coming up in August. In 2016, the judicial election resulted in 180,000 ballots being cast for judges in the primary. And of the 180,000 votes cast, I believe about 150 to 155,000 people actually voted on judges. Now let me tell you why this is so significant. Judges have potentially 2 elections that they have to go through, August and November. However, if you get 50 plus 1% of the vote in August, you don't go to November. So if you're looking at me and you're saying that's a fair guy, I want him on the bench, and you are a citizen, you registered to vote, and you think you're doing your civic duty, and you say, I'm going to go vote in November, I may not be on the ballot. Because if there are more than 3 people and nobody got more than 50 plus 1%. The people with the two highest numbers go on to November. But if you turn out for me and I manage to get 50 plus 1%, I don't have to go to November. So my point is this. There are about 1.2 million voters, registered voters in Broward County. Yet, in 2016, only 150,000 of them voted for judge.
Wow.
That means that a very small number can decide an election.
Yeah, you're talking just around a 10% plus.
There you go. Now, your community, I'm told, has about 15,000 registered voters in Broward County.
Who have already registered to vote.
I've been told that by Emerge.
Yeah.
Now I don't know the accuracy of it, but that's your community. You're supposed to know how many people in your community are registered. You should know. I shouldn't say you.
Yes.
It would help strengthen.
And they are working, and a lot of people are working on getting more people to be registered, because a lot of people did not really understand the seriousness, the importance of why they should be involved in the voting system in America.
Right.
In America, especially in America.
Well, here's what I want to say about that specifically. Right now, I'm told that there are about, 15,000 people who are who
have already registered. Yeah.
Right, who are Islamic, who have registered, and who vote.
Yeah.
When you're talking about numbers of 150,000 people, that's 10% of that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's a big sway.
Of course.
That's enough to decide the election.
Yes, yes.
That gives your community a great deal of power when it comes to the selection of judges, and other communities are exercising that.
Of course, other communities make use of that. And I would really like to continue this conversation, because this is important. We have already been speaking for more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
And that was very interesting, because I think a lot of people would have really want to know more about that juvenile system and your experience and how people can benefit, etc. But now this is another area which is of a bigger area in becoming a circuit court judge.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come back from the short break, we got to go on a short break.
Okay.
When we come back, I would really appreciate if you can share with our audience, and I want to let our audience know, we're going to talk a little more about Mr. Attorney James Curry and his vying towards becoming a circuit court judge. And I would like him to really tell us on what's best and how we should go about that, how the voters should go about, and what's the need and the benefits and all the 9 yards pertaining to becoming, and to him becoming, a circuit court judge.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Alhikmat Dawah Services is offering a 10-day tour to Dubai and India from October 14th to October 24th, visiting holy sites, Taj Mahal, and many other historic sites. Departure will be from Miami, Florida. Total cost will be $3,000 with flight, hotel, and breakfast. Visa processing fees are not included. If you are interested in this tour, please contact Alhikmat Dawah Services at USA office 954-986-0158 or our Trinidad office at 868-325-8276, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com. Alhikmat Dawah Services is offering a Ramadan Umrah trip visiting Medina and Mecca on May 11th to May 20th, 2019. Group will be led by Shaykh Shafayat with an approximate cost of $24.95 per person, departing from Miami, Florida, inshallah. If you are interested in this package, please contact Alhikmat Dawah Services at USA office 954-986-0158 or our Trinidad office 868-325-8276, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Welcome back to Who is Who in America on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a pleasure to continue our conversation with Mr. James Curry, who is an attorney at law, a man of great experience, 22 years of service in the juvenile system, and it is an honor to have you with us in Alhikmat studio, sir.
Well, it's an honor to be here.
Yeah.
The conversation is stimulating. It's important, and it's a message that needs to get out.
Of course, and that's how we at Alhikmat studio here, we thought that while people may go out in the street and go on the road and go to different institutions to meet people, with social media, with technology, we can sit right here and reach throughout the world.
Excellent. Well, I'm hoping we can at least meet the voters here in Broward County.
Of course, we would, and we do. We do. We do.
That really, here's what my objective is. My objective is to make this election a change election in terms of the turnout. If I can stimulate at least another 15, maybe 20,000 voters in your community to come out, I am 100% sure that I can win this election.
So when you become a judge, a circuit court judge,
yes, sir,
you automatically will have to give up your position.
No. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Because when you're a judge, you have to be fair and impartial.
Yes, you can't be there on that side and then be the middle here.
Right,
so we understand that.
Right.
Now, tell me something, and our audience and viewers worldwide here now. Someone wants to vote for you.
Yes, sir.
How do they go about that?
Here's how they do it. First of all, they have to be registered to vote.
Maybe I need to cut you again, just to make it a little more provocative.
Yes.
So a circuit court judge and a county court judge, what's the difference?
A county court judge is a lower level judge. They handle misdemeanors.
Mm-hmm.
They handle sums under.
And that's important for viewers to know.
Oh yeah, they handle sums under $15,000, and they handle parking tickets. If you get a parking ticket or speeding ticket, that's what county court does. Circuit court, on the other hand, if it's a felony, if it's and a circuit court judge would handle death penalty cases. So they would have the ability potentially to sentence someone to death. They would deal with sums over $15,000. Circuit court judges sit in surrogate court, meaning if there's a dispute over your assets after you pass away. And circuit court judges sit in juvenile court. There are no juvenile courts in county, which is why I want to be in circuit.
It's right up your alley.
Yes.
Right up your experience,
exactly.
Right up your services, and I think you're ideal for it.
That's my thoughts as well.
Yeah, you're right up with the background experience.
Right.
22 years, you know what has been happening and who has been making decisions, and now you're getting into that position because you already had a view and an experience on.
One of the things that are so important in juvenile courts is that, there's a trend towards having specialized courts. When I talk about this, some people say, well, how can you say with a surety that you can do this? You gotta have vision and you gotta have purpose on where you're gonna take things. And you gotta have faith that you can do it. If without vision, without purpose, and without faith, very little can happen, in my view. Now, there has been a tendency, or the state legislature put in place legislation for specialized courts. And when I say specialized courts, I mean like drug courts, where they're diversion programs essentially, or mental health courts. And they have specialized rules. And so when people have these type of specialized programs, you put them in these types of courts, and if they are successful, and under certain criteria, like you're in a drug court and you haven't run somebody over or killed somebody, these programs, if you're successful in them, it diverts you out of the system, and so you never have a record and you're not stained.
That's interesting. So the court that you are vying to be a judge in is Broward?
Correct.
Excellent.
The county.
The county.
Yeah.
In the county of Broward.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And I want to try to bring to that my expertise. See, I'm a program guy. One of the things that my agency does is creates programs. Most judges most lawyers are trial guys. What they do is trials.
Yeah.
Okay, what I've tried to focus on is programs that solve people's problems.
Most lawyers do not support or do not work towards enhancing
Well, there's not
better
a lot of money in that.
programs for the benefit of the people or the cases they deal with?
I don't want to be all-knowing and say that categorically, but a great deal of attorneys focus on trials.
That's where they make their money.
Well, you'd have to ask
like
them.
Listen, I know as a lawyer, and from the time we began this program, I've been asking you questions. I see and I understand that being a lawyer, you're going to be very, very skeptical in how you answer and what you say.
Well, not necessarily skeptical, but at least careful.
You got to be careful. So you just can't say the right thing in the wrong time neither.
Well, you know, I am in the legal profession, so yeah,
yes, you got to do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to be in court with a lot of different lawyers, and some of them may see this show and they may say, "He said."
But of course,
yeah,
people see this show all over. Muslim,
right.
non-Muslims, everybody. You know, I had a priest who got a job at a new church that I interviewed by the people looking at this show. The Christians church looked at this show and they hired a priest. They said, "Listen, wonderful job. You got all the things that we need."
Well, they might wind up all of them being mad at me if I say. I mean, all the lawyers.
Yes, I understand.
But I mean, there are a lot of honorable.
But you know, I'm in journalism and
Right.
I'm into the media operations. So my job is to ask you all these provocative questions.
That's fine.
It's your choice to answer or not. Right? That's why you're in the legal part, the law, the judge, whatever. So now we understand the voting session. So how, in your position, if you become, or when you become, let me use the word when.
Yes, sir.
So we think very positive. When you become the circuit court judge, how do you see yourself being beneficial to the community?
I want to try to create and enhance some of the specialized programs like drug court and mental health court that they have here. There are some good people that are already doing that right now in Broward County. I want to lend my skills to the chief judge and be part of his team to bring or enhance what exists and create new type programs like that. Because I believe there's a place for that here in Broward County. I believe that my specific skills are needed on the court here. I've helped build programs before. I've done this. And so I know how you go about doing it. I know it takes a lot of work. You got to go out in the community. You got to interview. You got to go to other parts of the state that have programs like that to see what they're doing and adapt it to here and see what people are willing to do here. You have to talk to people. Maybe you might need some money. You might need grants. I want to take the programs that we have to the next level and help our community best I can. You know, when you get to a certain point in your career, like I've been doing what I've been doing for 22 years.
Yeah, and that's the kind of vision leaders need to have.
Yes, yes. You want to go to the next level. When when I look back at my life, I don't want to say I could have done this.
Yes.
But I didn't do it because it was too hard. I want to look back at my life and say I did this in spite of it being difficult. And I helped these people as a result of it, or this person or that person. Because at the end, it's all about service. It's all about service. You can make as much money. You can only spend so much money. You can make as much money as you want, but if you haven't left something behind, nobody will remember you. And I think it's important that we do that.
So as a lawyer,
yes, sir,
and a man with 22 years experience in the juvenile justice system, and whether you call it juvenile or not, it is still to do with people, whether
Correct.
it's adult or young, but you just focus in a certain area because that's how we set up here in the United States of America. What advice, as a person going to become a circuit court judge, what advice would you give to the Muslim community in how they should get integrated, get involved in the community? Because you got to understand, you have a lot of immigrants here. And they're probably like, we don't have much Muslims in prison, we don't know, because the population has not been that much. It is an important population, but not too many people are and they started beginning to have, you follow what I'm saying? So therefore they are like, well, it's not necessary for us to be part of the court system, the juvenile system, the circuit judge system, the county court, because it's every now and then you probably hear of a Muslim name in the court, as opposed to the regular other names.
My analysis of that question is this. It's the political system, whether it be judge or whether it be school board or whether it be
and that's what I want you to share with our viewers.
Whether it be the mayor, whatever it be.
Commissioner, whatever.
Correct.
Senator.
Right. They're all, here's what I will say. Right now, there are approximately 90 judges, okay? People of color, including Muslims, constitute about 30% of the population. Hispanics, 30%. Everybody else, 40%. There are about, right now, 8 judges of color in Broward County. Okay. And I'm not saying that those 90 judges aren't fair. But what I'm saying is, if you want to be part of the solution, you got to be part of the process, the government. Okay? I don't know if there's a Muslim judge.
Neither me.
Okay? But you should know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I guess my point to this is, and I'm being careful how I'm parsing this. My point to this is, if you want to assure something is fair, you got to be in it.
Yes. And know
you can't
it
sit
from
you
the
can't,
root.
Right. You can't sit back on the sidelines and say, I'm going to let them make it fair for me. Okay. You got to get involved. How do you get involved? You start out by building a system of voters and supporting people and showing people that you can get results. And then one day, the results you get may be one of your Muslim brothers. Because you built a system, you made alliance with other people, you become part of the power structure. You say, I voted for you, now you vote for me.
Excellent.
But if you sit back and you say, oh, we're not in the system, so we ain't got to worry about those other crooks.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that are in jail that get sentenced to time that are not guilty.
Yes, and I believe that.
They get the Innocence Project, and this is Barry Sheck in New York, and they have it all over now, has proven that. Okay?
We are now in the world of you are guilty until proven innocent.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying.
But that happens in a lot of cases.
It's happened, and I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to scare anybody.
Yes, yes.
I'm just saying you can't be in this country and not be part of the system and expect that everything is going to be hunky-dory, because one day things may not turn out the way you wanted them, expected it to them, and if you're not part of the system, you have no control.
Definitely. So Muslims should really start supporting people like you who are going up in the
that's what I'm hoping.
Yes. And I know you have been getting a good reception from the Muslim community.
Absolutely.
I've been getting the feedback. I know what have been going around. We keep in touch what's going on here and there as a communication center. So I think that things are working really much into your favor. But I like the point you made. They need to get involved in the process, vote for people like you, get themselves registered, vote for people like you. When people like you and others who are judges or politicians or whatever realize that the Muslim vote is making a very powerful difference in America, then the next step you may find Muslims themselves becoming those politicians and judges.
Absolutely. You have to build a machine.
And then you have a strong bond working together.
Absolutely. You have skin in the game.
Yes.
You have skin in the game. And that makes the difference. How people will potentially treat you in the future.
Yes. And that will be what you call diversity to the real level.
I think so. I think
we need that diversity.
Well, not only do we need it, but I'm gonna even go one step further. The right to vote in this country for people of color was obtained by both people of color and others, blood in the streets. In other words, this isn't something that was just handed. This was something that was the result of a great struggle. And taking it for granted is just not a good idea, because if you take it for granted, you could lose it. It's very precious.
And you're being unfair to yourself, because here's a right that you have, and you're unfair, and I don't think it's really practical and realistic that you sit there criticizing judges, politicians, the government, and you're not part of it, you're not contributing towards it, good or bad. We don't expect you to contribute bad, or the people,
right.
But you're not contributing good, but you're criticizing because of bad. And it's only when you get involved, at least the least by voting to make a change, that something can happen. Just sitting and creating noise does not solve the problem.
Exactly. And here's the important part. They have to come out in August. They can vote by mail. They can get a vote.
Yeah, tell us about the voting time. When they should vote and how they can vote, etc. for you becoming a circuit judge.
They can vote by mail. The supervisor of elections after August 1st will be sending out vote by mail ballots. For any reason, if you want to receive a ballot at home because you're working or because you might be busy, you can receive that ballot, you fill it out, you follow the instructions, and you mail it back. They even give you free postage to mail it back. That's the first way. The second way is they have what they call early voting.
But that's for November.
No, that's for August.
Okay.
August 1st.
August 1st.
No, we're talking to August. I need 50+1% in August.
So people can begin voting from now by mail?
They can request a vote by mail. I'm not exactly sure when they can do it.
How long before the 1st of August?
I'm not exactly. You can call it, you can contact the supervisor of elections. I don't want to give out bad information.
Yes.
But you can request a vote by
that would not be a good judgment anyhow.
No. You can request at some point. I would say contact the supervisor of elections. You can request a vote by mail. They will probably be going out locally for August 1st. I know if you're overseas and you need a vote by mail, those go out July 14th. Overseas.
Okay.
Local, August 1st. And then between August 1st and August 18th. On August 18th, they have what they call early voting at designated sites around the county, where you can go in and physically vote between August 18th and I believe August 24th. That's what they call early voting. And then the date of election, everybody votes at their regular precinct on August 28th. All of this information can be obtained from the supervisor of elections.
August 28th.
Correct. And I need and here's the other thing. If you're not registered to vote, I believe you still have time between now and July 30th, but check with the supervisor of elections. So those people who are eligible to vote but are not registered still have time to vote in the August election. I need every person who's eligible to vote in August. If I get 50+1%, and that's where I can probably win. We need to win these races and take them early, instead of being complacent, waiting to November, and then there'll be much more people out.
So for the benefit of our viewers again, anyone who is registered, a registered voter,
can vote.
Doesn't matter whether he's voting registered to vote for senator, commissioner, whatever. You're a legal registered voter.
You can vote.
No. Now how they go about voting for you? You said they go on email, they get their...
Well, vote by mail, not email, vote by mail. They can contact the supervisor of elections and request a vote by mail. Those will probably be sent out after August 1st.
By mail?
By mail.
And it will be sent to the individual?
To the individual.
Do they send this to congregations or groups of people or organizations?
There are specific...
If someone asks and said, listen, I need 5, I want 50, I need 100.
Here's what I would advise someone to do.
Voting ballots or whatever you may want to call it?
Vote by mail.
Vote by mail.
I think your congregation can contact the supervisor of elections for the specific rules. But there are a number of organizations, both profit, and nonprofit and 501c3s that have been involved in registering people to vote and helping them get the vote by mail ballots. There are specific rules. That's why I said I would check with
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, check with the supervisor of elections office. If you call them, they will give you all of the rules. They will even, your facility, they will even come out and instruct the people directly and take the information. They will send, if you request somebody from the supervisor of elections office, they come out. If you, like you had that 3,000 people, they would have come out for an event like that. I'm sure of it.
Yes.
I'm sure of it. Because I've seen them come out to events all the time.
And that's what we need to make use of, the services.
Yes.
So the people can benefit, because especially the people who have never voted before or registered to vote and never did, you know, it's important for them to be motivated
and get the information
and get
firsthand.
information, and things be easier for them, and they have their choices and they know who they're going to vote for and whatever as the case may be. It's important.
But I want people to remember, curry. Vote for curry and you'll have
But curry is not going to be difficult for the Muslim community to vote for. I'll tell you why. They eat a lot of curry every day.
Yes.
Are you familiar with that curry?
I eat a lot of curry too.
Excellent. So they can never forget that name. That's
Okay.
a household name.
Good.
You know, when you talk of a household name, I think it should be very easy for them to remember curry.
And then there's Steph Curry too.
You got all kind of curry. All kind of curry. So listen, I mean, we may be making a joke out of it, but it's such a phenomenal name, a unique name. Everyone, it's so easy to remember. Curry.
Yes.
You know, and whether it's Arab, it's Pakistani, whoever, they all got, everyone who doesn't eat it knows about it.
Yes. But we need people to come out, excuse me, and vote. That is so critical. Now, to July, if they're not registered to vote, we still have a window where those people who are eligible can register July 30th. So there are two parts. So I would suggest that organizations that want to find out more information about this contact the supervisor of elections office.
Yes.
And get it firsthand. I don't want to give any misinformation.
I support you totally, and we don't want to do that. So anyhow, we are out of time. We have been talking, and I think we have been talking
thank you so much.
For more than 45, 50 minutes.
It doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it. It's very interesting. It's an interesting topic, and I pray God bless you in all your endeavors. You have had a wonderful career in the juvenile justice system for over 22 years as an attorney in the state office, if I want to call it that.
Yes, it's fine.
And now, I mean, may God continue to bless you to become a circuit court judge.
Thank you.
And that will lead you up. Maybe one day you're a congressman, one day you're up in Washington.
Let's take it one step at a time.
One step at a time, but you never can tell how things work. It's all there. And God continue to guide you and bless you, and I wish you all the best. And you got a couple seconds to conclude the program.
No, the only thing I would say is this could be a change election. We could actually make history in Broward County. Do you know that I would probably be the first person of color that wasn't appointed by the governor if I get elected?
Wow.
All other candidates of color typically get appointed by the governor. The first one was Florence Bonner, but I would be the first male.
And that would be very powerful and strong.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. We can make history. With your help, we can make history in Broward County. And that's what I want to do. Because once you make that history happen, there's no telling who's going to be the next judge.
Yes.
It could be a Muslim American.
Yes. Well, whatever. We just want to have the right judge.
Yes.
And the judge that is fair and will judge the right way.
Oh, that's true, too. That's true, too.
So thank you very much, Attorney James Curry, for being with us on the show, and I want to thank our viewers worldwide for viewing this program. I hope that you have benefited from the experience of Attorney James Curry and his 22 years of experience in the juvenile justice system, and we pray for him for all the best in this world and the hereafter, and God's guidance unto him and all you viewers and all of us, and may God bless him to be the circuit court judge. It's our duty to wish everyone the best, and as you know, the little I've known Mr. James Curry, he seems to be a very fair and honest person. His background speaks a lot, volumes. So thank you very much for viewing. Any questions, feel free to contact us at Alhikmat, Alhikmat TV, Alhikmat Studio, Alhikmat. It's a pleasure to have you, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much.
We're praying Salah, right?
where you see brothers and brothers fighting for money and property, sisters, brothers, fathers, children. Look at our Prophet ﷺ. 1400 years ago he said, I don't fear that you guys will do shirk, assign partners to Allah. But my fear is you will envy your brother and your sister for worldly things. When they have these worldly accomplishments, you will envy it.
Assalamu alaikum. Allah gives hikmat, wisdom, to whomsoever He wills. And whomsoever is given wisdom is certainly given a lot of good. Only the people of understanding will benefit from the reminder. Tune in to Alhikmat TV for khutbahs, lectures, and Islamic reminders. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator. Allah, Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. All praises are due to Allahu, Allah. All praises are due to Allahu, Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Salam alayka, ya Habib.
Bounty Kings, Bounty Castles presents brand new luxury castles for all events. You can contact us at telephone number 749-4342, or you can also email us at bountykings1@gmail.com. A-Class Glamour presents to you wholesaling and retailing of premium lines of cosmetics for all skin types, designer jewelry, and many accessories. Brands include ColourPop, Maybelline, Revlon Professional, Urban Decay, Sephora, and many more. To get a hold of these products, you can call Sadiq Khan at 345-5824 or Amira Khan at 759-6089. You can also visit our Facebook page at A-Class Glamour to follow for newly released lines of products.
Alhikmat Dawah Services is offering a 10-day tour to Dubai in India from October 14th to October 24th, visiting holy sites, Taj Mahal, and many other historic sites. Departure will be from Miami, Florida. Total cost will be $3,000 with flight, hotel, and breakfast. Visa processing fees are not included. If you are interested in this tour, please contact Alhikmat Dawah Services at USA office 954-986-0158 or our Trinidad office at 868-325-8276, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com. Alhikmat Dawah Services is offering a Ramadan Umrah trip visiting Medina and Mecca on May 11th to May 20th, 2019. Group will be led by Shaykh Shafayat with an approximate cost of $24.95 per person, departing from Miami, Florida, inshallah. If you are interested in this package, please contact Alhikmat Dawah Services at USA office 954-986-0158 or our Trinidad office 868-325-8276, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
Allah
has no father or son.